And I'd like to speak about the significance of this offering, of this donation, so that we don't only have the chantings, but also something that we can reflect upon. So what is the benefit? What are the benefits of this gift, of this donation, of this hall, of this kusalt? On one hand, we can use this place for coming together as a Sangha. We can have meetings here. The Buddha said that when the Sangha comes together often, when we discuss often, that we can live together in harmony. And harmony is a very important part of life. As important as for lay life, harmony is important for the monastic life. And for that it is also important that we have a place where we can meet. Also we will use this place for eating, so we have our meals here. And also this place can be used for meditation. It's a quiet place, it's a suitable environment. We have a nice safe place here for meditation. Now, the Buddha was once asked about generosity, about giving. The Buddha was asked by someone, giving what does one give strength? Giving what does one give beauty? Giving what does one give ease? Giving what does one give sight? Who is the giver of all? Being asked, please explain to me. And the Buddha replied, giving food, one gives strength. Giving clothes, one gives beauty. Giving a vehicle, one gives ease. Giving a lamp, one gives sight. The one who gives a residence is the giver of all, but the one who teaches the Dhamma is the giver of the deathless. I think we can easily understand that when we give food, we give out the strength. And also today we had a donation of food, very beautiful, going on Pindapat down there. I think for all of us that was the first Pindapat with masks. Maybe the monks sometimes going to town to Novo Mesto to collect alms. We had that experience before, but for many of us it was the first time. And it's beautiful to see that even though the outer circumstances change and may be challenging at times, there's still a lot of enthusiasm and liking to do good. Giving clothes, one gives beauty. I think that also makes sense. If we want to look good, we have nice clothes. Giving a vehicle, one gives ease. So we all had the ease to come here, we didn't have to walk. Giving a lamp, one gives sight. Also makes sense. And then the Buddha says, the one who gives a residence is the giver of all. And this is an offering of a residence, of a building. And why did the Buddha say it's the giver of all? I think we can also look at the history of this place. The whole Samanadipa monastery started when the house of Ajahn Hiriko's grandmother became available. Suddenly there was a place, suddenly there was a residence. And all this just came after that. So according to the Buddha, we have 4 basic necessities for life. We need a place to live in that protects us from the rain, from the cold, from the heat. We need clothing, we need food, and we need medicine when we get sick. So a very basic requirement is fulfilled when we have a place to live. For the practice of the Dhamma, we need a place that is comfortable enough. We don't need luxuries. The Buddha actually recommended us not to go for luxury, but to live a simple life. And the kusalt is a simple building that's also very suitable for monks. It's not an expensive, fancy thing, but it's a very simple, beautiful building. But our dwelling place needs to be comfortable enough. We need to be protected so that we can practice well, because in order to practice the Dhamma, one also needs a lot of energy. For meditation, we have to be balanced, we have to be strong enough. If we have a suitable dwelling, we can do what the Buddha said, dwell in the Dhamma. This is what the Buddha recommended to the monks, that we should dwell in the Dhamma. What did he mean by that? Dwelling in the Dhamma, according to the Buddha, means to learn the teachings of the Buddha. That's also very important. It's not only meditation practice. And then also to think about the Buddhist teachings, but not only to think about it, to really try to understand the teachings of the Buddha. And then also to go to seclusion and to make our minds calm and peaceful. And usually on days when there's not so many people here, this is a very secluded area. So this place also fulfills this requirement for the holy life, that we can go into seclusion and meditate and make our minds calm and peaceful. So there are many advantages we get from this offering of this kusalt. That's very good. And also as monks, we have the duty to live up with our practice, to the donations and to the faith of the lay people who support us. We don't earn our living by working. We also don't earn our living by chanting or talking or teaching, but really it's our practice that makes us very fruitful also for those who give. And here we also come to the other side of the advantages of this gift. It's not only an advantage for us who receive, but also a great advantage for those who give. I think most of you know that according to the Buddha's teaching, dana, giving, is a very praised virtue. According to the Buddha's teaching, when we give, we create the foundations for getting in the future. It shouldn't be a business, but still we can expect a lot of goodness back when we give. Basically, when we don't give, we will have more difficult lives, more difficulties getting what we want. When we give, it won't be very difficult to get what we need and have a comfortable life. I think we can see in life sometimes people put forth a lot of effort, but whatever they do, it doesn't work out. And sometimes, even though people put forth very little effort, things seem to work out smoothly and very evenly. So it seems there's more than we can see directly. It's not only the effort, but according to the Buddha, it's the past karma that we have done, that we have created. And occasions like this are great occasions of creating merit, of creating boon, and creating good conditions for the future. So when we give, and particularly when we have a habit of giving, we can expect a lot of happiness and a lot of pleasure coming back in this life and lives to come. Of course, this doesn't always work immediately. It may take some time. It's not that you give today and you get tomorrow. This may sometimes go slowly, slowly, slowly. But if our attitude changes to a more generous attitude, there's also another happiness that we can receive from that. Sometimes even when giving, even before receiving the fruits of our karma, we can experience a lot of happiness, a lot of joy in the act of working together, coming together, bringing things together. Sometimes when we do good, it's a little bit difficult because it's stressful and there's a lot going on. But then we can rejoice afterwards. And we can use this opportunity also to rejoice in the goodness that has happened. Maybe we couldn't take the time to sit down and think about that when we were preparing, when we were working. But now we can take the time to rejoice in that. And even we can rejoice in the goodness of others. That's called mudita in the Buddha's teachings. That's a very easy way to create merit. And it's an easy way to increase the merit, to not only have the merit that we have created ourselves. So in this way we can create a lot of joy and happiness in our lives. But according to the Buddha's teachings, we also have to reflect that all the good things, all the happinesses in life, still there's one problem with them: they don't last. The Buddha was teaching about impermanence, and wherever we look in life, we see impermanence. And also the happiness and the pleasures that we can get back from doing good is also subject to impermanence. And here the Buddha's teachings becomes very important. The Buddha really urged us to search deeper and to search for a deeper happiness. A happiness that is more reliable than the pleasures we experience in life. And the Buddha taught at the heart of the Buddha's teachings, there's the Four Noble Truths. The Buddha was teaching that as long as there's craving in our mind, there will never be satisfaction. It is often thought that the Buddha was teaching about suffering, and that is true, but the word is much better translated as a lack of satisfaction, because however good life we may have, however much pleasure we may have, there's always something missing, it seems. So as long as this longing and craving is in our mind, it's very difficult to find true happiness, lasting happiness. We cannot find true peace. Now this is a place for people to dedicate themselves to the practice of the Dhamma. And this is the path we want to go. We want to go the path to the end of all suffering, not just to create pleasant conditions for our lives or for lives in the future, but this is a place that has been created and designed for people to come from many different parts of the world and have a suitable place to really put the teachings of the Buddha into practice. And the name of this place, Samanadipa, means something like an island. Deepa means an island, and Samana is a contemplative, somebody who dedicates their life to the practice of the Dhamma, somebody who wants to understand the truth, somebody who is willing to follow the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is a refuge or an island for contemplatives. And I think it makes a lot of sense also, because in this part of the world, it's not like in the Buddhist country that you have monasteries at every corner almost, or in every village, but it's a very special place. So I would like to make the wish that all the goodness that has gone into offering this kusal, today also robes cloth was offered, food was offered, potential requisites were offered in forms of donation, that all this goodness will be put to good use by those who live here and help also those who support the practice to grow in the Dhamma and to proceed towards true happiness, the happiness and peace of Nibbana.